All right, Kelsey, thank you. From 1962 to 1970, a paper mill dumped mercury in a river near the Grassy Narrows First Nation in Ontario. And now a new study has found a link between exposure to mercury poisoning and a crisis of suicide attempts in the community's youth.
The impacts of mercury have been very devastating in terms of our economy. Our way of life has been totally destroyed. We're unable to continue to, at 100%, we're unable to continue our traditional activity.
For a closer look at this story, we're joined by former MKO Grand Chief and documentary maker Sheila North. Sheila, good to have you on the show. What are we learning about the association between mercury exposure and suicide rates?
Yeah, thankfully there was a study done to prove what community members have been suspecting for a long time, that the connection to the health and well-being of people from Grassy Narrows is directly connected to what happened around the 1960s with that mill and the dumping of mercury into their water source. So it's very, very problematic to see and understand, and very much so for the community members that live there.
This research looked at 80 mothers and 162 children to find links between older generations exposed to mercury and the risk of attempted suicide in youth. Tell us about what they found.
Yeah, the study found that there's connection at least 3 generations down from that time all the way to now, that that says that the bloodstream was impacted in all of these people, and some of them connected to the fishing way of life and living off the land and their traditional way of life by having fish in their as part of their staple. And by doing that and by following their culture and heritage, they were very hurt by the impacts of the mill in the bloodstream, and then it affected their mental health and their physical health and their ability to live out their lives that they that we all are supposed to live out as we are fellow human beings. But it was directly impacted and impaired and violated by this paper mill and the decisions that they've made in the 1960s.
What does the community need the most right now?
The community needs acknowledgement at the very least of the atrocities that they faced, and their basic human rights have been violated. So they need restoration, and at the very least, compensation would be very much needed, and the very least thing that the families that are impacted need, especially our youth today who have very little in the first place. This is such another further step to the impacts of colonialism on First Nations, especially this particular community, by the paper mill. And this is the epitome of it. And it's very hurtful to see and hear that it's happened in our own country. And people around the world, I'm sure, are baffled by it. And I think that we as Canada and Canadians have to be alarmed and trying to find a way to make sure that communities know that this was wrong, and that what they're going through is also wrong, and honor their requests by protecting their lands and their resources, but also protecting their families.
Sheila North, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.